This is CTV News with Nafisa Karim.
When you have an event like that, you're going to get spillover into the local environment of chemicals, hydrocarbons, oils, gas.
Fallout following a large boat fire. Tonight we hear from the environmentalists keeping track of the effects on marine life.
Indicative of a lot more profound changes in how your body is functioning, and it can lead to both short-term health and performance impacts as well as potential long-term effects.
Fueling your body properly. First of its kind research into how women's eating habits can affect health. Plus, Adam finds out how a local gardener is striving to grow positivity. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with the environmental fallout caused by that massive yacht fire in North Saanich earlier this month. A small amount of herring were found dead in the marina following the blaze and subsequent fuel spill. Now it appears thousands of fish eggs have become the fire's latest victims. CTV's Brendan Strain reports.
Southern Vancouver Island and the Gulf Islands, and in particular Seam Harbour, are a hot spot for surf smelt and their spawning habitats.
Along Tryon Beach in North Saanich, dozens of merganser ducks gather, waiting on their next feast.
This is very indicative that we probably have surf smelt schooling, getting ready to spawn, or maybe having just spawned, and they're foraging on them.
In the early morning hours of February 1st, 3 luxury yachts caught fire at Isle Marina, spilling thousands of liters of fuel into the ocean. Fire crews quickly responded, as well as Western Canada Marine Response.
In the first 24 hours of that response, our efforts were really focused on containing the diesel.
That mitigation work went well. The agency says 10,000 liters of oily water was removed, and more than 1,500 bags of solid waste was recovered. Yet there was still some environmental collateral damage.
We observed some dead herring.
Kyle Armstrong is the executive director of the Peninsula Streams and Shoreline Society and says fortunately that die-off was minimal. Now the concerns lie along this shoreline.
This is essentially surf smelt spawning gold.
Rocky sand along Tryon Beach, just around the corner from Isle Marina. Those smolt have now begun spawning in this gold.
Very difficult to see them, but they're there.
Armstrong says volunteers with the organization are seeing early signs of a higher than usual mortality rate among thousands of those eggs.
There's a high probability that the mortality was caused from the event.
But that cause of death may never be known due to the tiny size of those eggs.
The lab technology to be able to provide that smoking gun isn't available. We're working on it.
Peninsula Streams says all the agencies involved in the spill response did a great job, and that the harm caused to the environment could have been much worse. It also says the coastal spill underscores how vulnerable spawning habitats are and that more needs to be done to protect them. Brendan Strain, CTV News, North Saanich.
A team at the University of Victoria is studying the effects of a common problem found among female athletes. Underfueling. It can cause many high-performance athletes to lose their menstrual cycles, and now researchers want to understand how it affects brain health. As CTV's Anna McMillan shows us, the first-of-its-kind research isn't just beneficial for athletes, but for the general public as well.
These University of Victoria researchers are studying the effects of a condition they've personally experienced, caused by undereating as athletes. It's called relative energy deficiency in sport, or REDS.
When this happens over a long period of time, there's health consequences that occur as your body tries to save energy.
Triathlete Emma Skog and cross-country runner and former swimmer Ella Lane say years ago they felt the consequences of undereating. Neither of them were menstruating, and Skog was prone to injury and brain fog, while Lane was always sore and struggling with her mental health.
One of the areas we don't know a lot about is how it might be impacting the brain.
It's a noteworthy information gap, considering recent papers suggest more than half of female endurance athletes may not be eating enough.
With REDS, we do see a lot of suppression by the body in a lot of different ways to try and conserve energy. And we also do see some loss of executive function or ability to think clearly, but we're not really sure why.
Skog is using an ultrasound to look at the blood vessels that lead to Lane's brain. She wants to know if brain health is affected by menstrual irregularity, which is a hallmark symptom of REDS in women.
We're looking at how blood flow is regulated in the brain. The brain is very, very needy. It needs lots of energy and blood flow all the time.
More than 40 active women are participating in the research, which also includes cognitive testing. The researchers are comparing the results of those with regular periods and those without.
I'm going to be running some further analysis to look for biomarkers that are related to brain health.
She's doing that by looking at blood samples.
Within human physiology research, there's an underrepresentation of female subjects. The more we understand about female physiology, the better, the better we can start making informed decisions.
Some athletes aren't aware they're undereating, but that's not always the case.
The slippery slope to want to restrict or change your body composition to improve performance is so tempting, and I've experienced that temptation myself.
She says what's really going to lead to success is preventing RED-S, which can affect anyone who exercises.
We see it a little bit more in people who are active more than 2 or 3 hours a week.
They hope to set the stage for studies on potential long-term effects of underfueling and to educate people about the importance of meeting the energy demands of their sports. Anna McMillan, CTV News, UVic.
Highway 4 along Cameron Lake was closed for the majority of the day to repair some erosion to the shoulder and bank caused by a wildfire a few years ago. Signage was out along the highway heading toward Port Alberni, and a barricade was set up at Chatsworth Road, where some drivers were choosing to wait as others turned around. Crews needed time to remove equipment. The Ministry of Transportation adds that the work needed to be done during the day to ensure crews had the best visibility of overhead hazards. The city of Nanaimo is undertaking an alternative approval process in hopes of amending the municipal boundary to include First Nation reserve land. This means the public will get its say on expanding municipal boundaries to include the Nanaimo First Nation, and would mean residents living on the reserve could participate in municipal elections. The move was requested by the First Nation, and the city would not be required to provide new services. The process, which will begin March 11th, only electors opposed to the idea will need to submit a response form. If more than 10% of voters submit a form in opposition, a referendum would be required. Victoria is kicking off its 51st flower count and launching a new fundraising effort to maintain Victoria's iconic hanging baskets program. The Greater Victoria Flower Count begins next Wednesday, March 4th, and runs until the 11th. However, this year there will be fewer blooms downtown without your help. Last fall, Victoria's City Council cut the budget for hanging baskets in half. Now, $150,000 is needed to restore the program to the same scale.
Without donations from businesses and residents and visitors, the flower basket program will be cut in half this year and potentially cut further in the years ahead as we face more and more difficult budget challenges.
The fundraising effort kicked off today with a $25,000 donation from Butchart Gardens. Donations can be made by visiting the City of Victoria or Destination Greater Victoria in person or online. Well, the City of Victoria is updating some public washrooms along Dallas Road, and Johnny Novak, our morning show host over at 107.3 Virgin Radio, laced up his shoes and took to the Virgin Radio socials to show us where in a new segment we are calling Johnny on the Spot.
Did you hear that running in Victoria is about to get so much easier? That's because the city has announced that they are upgrading 3 bathrooms along Dallas Road. The ones by Holland Point Park, Beacon Hill Park, at Cook and Dallas, and of course, at Ross Bay Cemetery. So the wording for the City of Victoria is that the bathrooms will start construction soon to later this year. I'm pumped for this because it's going to be easier to go on your runs, if you know what I mean. What other bathrooms do you think need improvement around the city?
Well, you can listen to Bailey and Johnny each morning on 107.3 Virgin Radio from 5:30 to 10, also available on your HD channel in your car. A Capital Region conservation group says there is an increase in wolf activity on the South Island and is reminding people to try and minimize encounters. The Wildwise Society says it's important to coexist with the animals and reduce opportunities for conflict. This means keeping pets on a leash and securing livestock in areas where wolf activity is reported. The group says wolves are on the hunt for food and can't distinguish between prey and your family pet. The society also says posting interactions or sightings of wolves on social media isn't helpful.
Most spend most of their lives undetected by people, and it's a great you know, I think people are well-intentioned when they post on social media, you know, telling people that there's a wolf in their neighborhood, but at the same time, like, it's very unlikely that you're going to re-encounter that animal after someone's posted it. And so to be prepared to coexist at all times and not exclusively when sightings are posted.
If you encounter a wolf that is out of concern for public safety, contact the BC Conservation Office. The Wounded Warrior Run has arrived in the Comox Valley after getting underway in Port Hardy on Sunday. We caught up with the team today as they did a ceremonial run at 19 Wing Comox. Armed Forces members at 19 Wing joined the Wounded Warrior crew, lacing up and hitting the pavement down the flight line. The 8-day event involves 8 runners running the length of Vancouver Island. The goal? Raising funds for the Wounded Warriors Canada mental health programs to benefit veterans, first responders, and their families. The run has been going since 2014.
Might be a lot of people that are too proud to go seek medical help through the medical system that we have in the Canadian Armed Forces. So I think having that additional resource out there is something that can benefit people, I guess, that wouldn't normally get help otherwise.
And provide a safe space for people to speak and to talk about their mental health. It's one thing to break your arm, but when something goes wrong and you're exposed to some sort of trauma, we're not allowed to talk about that, and if we're suffering, and that's just wrong.
The team is scheduled to be in Parksville tomorrow and finish the run in Victoria on March 1st. 9 degrees, a little overcast out there. A couple of raindrops on the camera as well. Josh will be back after the break with a full forecast.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Plan, book, and safeguard your journeys. Explore the possibilities at expediacruises.ca.
What makes West Shore Parks and Recreation a perfect place to play? It's our staff, working behind the scenes to keep the pool safe, kids engaged, and programs thriving. So apply today and join our team.
Well, Josh joins us now for your full island forecast. Josh.
Thanks, Nafisa. We'll see some more scattered showers make their way across parts of the island through this evening. And then as we head through the next couple of days, no real heavy, steady rain for most areas. But you can see tomorrow there'll be a couple scattered showers. Again, Friday, especially further to the north, you'll see some hit and miss showers. So there is precipitation in the forecast for the next couple of days. And occasionally it'll be periods of rain. But for the most part, this is more showers than long-lasting, heavy, steady rain. Temperatures will be a little cooler than average as we head through the next couple of days in the north. 6 degrees Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Drier for the weekend. A little sunnier for both Saturday and Sunday. And temperatures by Sunday back closer to average. For inland areas, 8 and 9 for daytime highs. Some occasional periods of rain tomorrow. Scattered showers potentially on Friday. That is a 10, and that should say 10 as well. Let's flip that. Mainly sunny skies on Sunday. Out on the West Coast, 8 and 9 for daytime highs Thursday, Friday. Some occasional showers tomorrow, and then maybe into Friday morning as well. I think most of the day Friday, though. You're just looking at mostly cloudy skies. 10 and sunshine on Saturday, 8 or 9 with some sunshine on Sunday. In Comox, chance of a scattered shower tomorrow, and again Friday, especially in the afternoon hours tomorrow, if at all. 11 degrees tomorrow, and then we'll back off to the 8 or 9 degree range for Friday and the weekend. And again, like the rest of the island, you're looking at drier conditions and sunnier conditions for both Saturday, Sunday. Sunshine by the weekend as well in Nanaimo with highs of 8 and 9 on Saturday and Sunday. For tomorrow, though, mostly cloudy skies, chance of some scattered showers, high of about 10 tomorrow afternoon. And in Victoria, we'll start the day in the 7 or 8 degree range. Little breezy, wind to be out of the southwest, 20, gusting at times to around 40 or 50 kilometers per hour. We'll call it a 30% chance of a scattered shower for most of the day. Just mostly cloudy skies and breezy. High of about 10 or 11 degrees tomorrow. 10 or 11, and drier for Friday with partly cloudy skies, and then sunshine on Saturday. And it looks like daytime highs should stay in double digits through the weekend and into early next week as well. So just slightly above the seasonal average high of 9 degrees. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations.
Thanks, Josh. Well, you may have noticed a lot of people wearing pink today in your office or at school, and it's all part of Pink Shirt Day, an annual campaign to stand up against bullying.
Hard to have a conversation about school safety for kids right now without thinking about Tumbler Ridge. Not all of us will be called on the way the kids and the teachers and the adults were at Tumbler Ridge. In that community, we'll not all have that moment where we have to step up in this way. But there are moments in our day-to-day lives when we can step up and be heroic in our own way to keep schools and keep kids safe.
Premier David Eby spoke to a group of students at the BC Legislature today about the importance of being kind. Pink Shirt Day was first organized in 2007 by students in Nova Scotia to show support for a boy who was bullied for wearing pink. Well, Donald Trump has signaled he won't back down on tariffs. And today on Fox News, Trump's trade representative singled out Canada, saying any trade deal will include tariffs. CTV's Mike LeCouture has Ottawa's response to what was said.
The State of the Union address. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he didn't watch the State of the Union address, but there are impacts for Canada. President Trump made it clear tariffs are a key plank in his economic plan for the U.S.
The view of the American administration is that there'll be a price to access the American market. I think, every country of the world that I know of is paying a price. What I'm saying is that Canada is paying the lowest price.
But that price could be paid in jobs. The U.S. Trade Representative today making it clear this is about moving manufacturing back to America.
We really want to focus on reshoring here. We want to have production here. We don't necessarily want to be dependent on China, Canada, or anybody else for things like cars and that kind of thing.
The U.S. has 50% levies on steel and aluminum going into their country and 25% tariffs on autos. It's why the Canadian government is trying to diversify trade away from our American neighbors.
GM and Stellantis have been cutting jobs here in Canada. Well, we will look towards Koreans, we will look towards Germans, and we'll look towards Chinese investments.
While looking for other trading partners, Canada continues to work on saving the trade deal with the U.S. and Mexico.
The Canadians, I was in contact with my counterpart just this morning. He's going to come to town in a couple weeks. They have a few ideas on how they might want to have a deal with us. We're obviously open to that.
By comparison, Dominic LeBlanc's office was far less committal. In a statement, a spokesperson for the minister responsible for Canada-U.S. trade would only say LeBlanc and Greer had a number of brief, informal exchanges in recent days about a potential in-person meeting in Washington, D.C. in the near future. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, flower flag. Adam finds out the unexpected reason why a man with a green thumb is planting a garden filled with red and white flowers. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Finally, Adam meets a Victoria man who's hoping his little garden might make a big impact on this Encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
About 18 years ago, Sahoshi Irvin says his ordinary day suddenly turned extraordinary.
I had a vision to create the most beautiful place on Earth.
The most beautiful place on Earth?
Yes.
How are you qualified to do that?
Anyone's qualified to do it.
Now, before Sahoshi explains why, you should know that although he'd been qualified to be a carpenter for decades, it wasn't a beautiful building he felt compelled to create.
Then you can make the most beautiful place right here.
On this lifeless section of sidewalk in front of his home, with flowers.
I knew nothing about gardening, nothing. I just knew photosynthesis occurred, that's it.
So Sahoshi enlisted the help of friends and neighbors and transformed the boulevard into a bounty of blossoms, which, he says, helped the neighborhood blossom into a more joyful place.
That's my raison d'etre, let's say, is to just give joy in whatever way I can.
While he spends thousands of hours a year caring for his garden, you should know that Sahoshi is also a former triathlete. who says he's run across Canada and cycled across 48 states.
I don't get political about it, but we want to stay as Canada. It's not a 51st state.
So, while he waits for thousands of bulbs to bloom here, Sahoshi's expanded his garden to the other side of the sidewalk and arranged hundreds of flowers to form our flag, to cultivate gratitude for here and counter any conflict with elsewhere.
You don't want to have war. You don't want to fight when you're filled with joy. You want to feel good and do good things.
And why aspiring to make this the most beautiful place is not a competition for Sahoshi. It's more of an invitation to not just make one place great again, but inspire all of us to make every place feel for everyone like the most beautiful place on earth perennially.
Anyone's qualified to do it. We're all qualified to do it. Yeah. You just have to go out and do it.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by Coastal Community Credit Union. Bank happy at Coastal Community Credit Union.
You just have to go out and do it. That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.